Built How podcast is part of the Win Make Give podcast network.
Welcome to the Built How podcast. My name is Ben Kinney. I am so excited because we are interviewing number one real estate professionals and asking a simple question. How did you build the business that you have today? I am so excited for this interview. Get ready to learn.
Hello and welcome to the Built How podcast. It's an honor to host today's episode where we simply go around the country looking for top real estate professionals, asking them the simple question, how did you build the business that you have today? And we are joined by Tony Zowd of Integrity Plus Network of Coldwell Banker of Columbia, Maryland. How are you doing today, Tony?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We appreciate you carving out time, spending a little time with us and allowing us to find out how you built this amazing business that you have. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into real estate?
Sure. So my name's Tony Zowd again with the Integrity Plus Network of Coldwell Banker. I'm going on my 18th year in real estate. So when I first started, I was actually a dual career agent. I think it's very hard to get in this business without strong support or working two jobs, right? You don't get a check tomorrow. It usually takes 30 to 60 days if you're rolling. So when I first got in, I did building remodeling. I had a company with my father and brother and basically took my classes at night, got into real estate, passed my classes, and then basically slung a hammer during the day and, sold real estate on nights and weekends when I had my off time to try to build the business. And I did that for about 9 years. And I finally got to a point where I felt like I could just take off and do real estate full time, which is my passion. I love doing real estate. I got out of the construction. I learned a lot from being in that. I consider myself kind of a house guy, because I understand the ins and outs, and I think that goes a long way with the clients. But just got in and started grinding. I think time's your friend in real estate. The longer you do it, the better it looks to the public, right? They can see that you're doing it and it's successful and you're moving forward. So, but that's basically how I got started.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And so tell us a little bit about your team and what role do you currently hold and how's your team structured?
So I'm the team leader. I have 12 agents on my team. Basically, the structure of it is I'm the team leader. I have a partner, and then the rest of the agents on the team, we actually train them to be listing agents and buyer's agents. We named the team the Integrity Plus Network for a reason. I didn't want it to be the Tony Zowd team. So when you join our team, I wanted it to be a partnership, right? You're not working under somebody else like, oh, I work for the Tony Zowd team. I always felt that puts you down a notch when you went into a listing presentation or something if you're competing against other big teams. So they're partners. Everybody on the team is considered a partner, and we train them to be buyer agents and listing agents because you still need a name in this business. You don't see too many buyer agents that are really killing it full time. But listing agents, you get to put your name out there, you get to market it, and we allow our team to do that. We do have a virtual assistant. We have an office administrator, and then I do have a personal assistant on top of that. So that's all incorporated into the team, and we basically help the team become listing agents and sell and do the training and the coaching. I actually am coached I'm in the Dave Ramsey ELP system. So do some training through him and coaching with that. His is a lot about customer service and also making sure people are actually set up financially, right? It's not always a smart time to move or sell. So we kind of look at their finances to make sure they're making a right decision. I don't want a client to call me in a year or two and be like, hey, I'm going into short sale or something because they overstretch. So we try to educate them to make sure that they're making the right move. And then we recently, about 4 to 5 months ago, actually started Tom Ferry's coaching. So now the whole team is coached by Tom Ferry, and that's more on the real estate side and how to take care of your clients and negotiate and how to market yourself. So we provide that all for our team.
Wow. Okay. That's awesome. And just for context, what kind of production did you guys do last year?
So last year we did about 145 houses.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And how are you guys pacing this year?
This year here, I think we're going to be a little bit lower. I think we're going to come in around about 125. Hopefully we have a strong fourth quarter that'll help push. Our strongest quarter last year was the fourth quarter. So if we get a big push like that again, I think that, we have possibilities hitting those numbers or maybe maximum. But on average year to year, I would say we average 120 to 150 houses.
Okay. And what kind of volume is that for your area?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I'm sorry. What kind of volume is that?
So it's probably around 50 million a year.
Okay.
Our average list price here is about 350,000.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So why don't we do this? Tell us about like some of the challenges that you have and how you stay inspired.
So honestly, I stay inspired because I want to keep doing real estate. It's getting up every day and going to work. I have a family to support. I don't want to go back to doing my old time job of construction, which I haven't had to do in the last 9 years. So that kind of inspires me to get up every day. I think in real estate, your biggest strength is being self-motivated. If you're not a self-starter, you don't have that boss there every day telling you what to do. Like we can give you a path, like when we do our coaching, we give a path and we give a map and goals to help you get set up, but you still got to go out and do it. So it's just getting up every day and making sure that you have something to do and that you're productive in this business, right? If it's making phone calls, if it's door knocking, sending out mailers, taking classes, meeting people, whatever you got to do, you just got to keep going out there. So I personally, that's my favorite part of this job is that I get it paid to go network, to go have drinks with other agents or friends and, clients, or go have dinner with them. And, to me, I'm getting paid to do that, right? Because that's building a relationship. And to me, that's probably the coolest and the funnest thing about being a realtor, because I like to go eat and have a few drinks once in a while.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay. So what would you say you do in your business that's unique?
So honestly, I think we talked about this a little bit in the interview. There is no magic pill. It's really just getting up and going to work every day.
Right.
I don't think I do anything special. I just think every day, I do client. I'm very good with client follow up. You got to make sure that you're following up with your clients. You cannot let them sit out there. And honestly, the market's starting to shift. So, one of the hardest thing is when there's nothing going on, or you got bad. You can't let that set for a week because nobody showed the house or you don't have an offer yet. That's when you really need to be contacting your client. It's easy when everything's going good and you got 20 offers on the table and there's 100 showings going on. Like everybody's happy. But when that slows down, you need to be in contact with your client. You have to be there, even if it's like, hey, Mr. Jones, just calling you today. We don't have no showings today and no offers, but I just wanted to let you know we're still out here marketing the property and go over basically what you're listing, because we assume that they know everything we do and they do not. Right? Your clients do not know everything you do. A lot of them think you stick a sign in the yard and put it on the MLS and it's goodbye. So you got to keep informed throughout. And as it gets tougher and tougher, that's one of the things we do is we're trying to build relationships with clients. So we want to have that appreciation basically to show them every little step we're doing to stay in contact. So they're not guessing or wondering, they actually know. And again, that just goes back to, hey, get up, go to work today, right? That's the magic pill. There is no oh, I just do this one marketing, or I just do Zillow leads or this or that. Like, no, you just got to get up. You got to talk to people. It's a people business. So you got to be out here having meetings, having talks. Let your clients know that's how you build your business. Sitting in your office, like it kills me. So I don't mean to keep rambling, but our managers always say, oh, you got to come into the office. You got to come into the office because so-and-so might not want to work in this area and you'll get a lead. You're getting trash. You're getting the leads that nobody wants. That's not the way to build the business. And I always tell the agents in my office, I'm like, if you're not in here working on something specifically, get out. Go have lunch, go have coffee, go meet somebody, go show houses, go preview houses, but get out and network and talk, because sitting in your office is not going to do it. That's the magic, is getting out, doing it every day.
Mm-hmm. And so what were some of the bumps along the way you experienced like in building this business?
So my biggest bump was when I first got in, the market was crazy, right? It was just off the chain. Everybody was selling everything. I got in 2005. My problem was nobody knew who I was. I was a newer agent. So by the time I started getting leads, the market crashed and we went through the recession. So the recession was probably my toughest time. And I actually had the recession I went through, there really wasn't a lot of sales going on in real estate. And then my second business was doing construction then. Well, nobody was fixing or remodeling either. If it didn't have to be done, nobody was doing anything. So I found out, I think, that time is your friend, right? That I could weather through that and consistently keep working. people see that in the market, right? So I'm big on social media. I do a lot of Facebook, Instagram. Now I'm doing TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, you name it, I'm there. Right. If you Google my name, I want it to pop up everywhere because I think it establishes you. It shows people that you're serious. And as people see that you've been through that time, that actually helps build to your reputation. Right. You've been through all that. So I would say the hardest thing was the recession. And then the biggest next one would be starting a team.
Mm.
You learn a lot. You fail a lot to learn. Right. There's a lot of ways to do things. And I think it took me a little bit to do that. Not everybody's perfect for the team. Not every program is perfect to pay for to get leads, or I buy some leads here and there. Not as much as we used to. Most of it, you're throwing crap against the wall and hoping it sticks. So you learn not to waste money. I think that was my biggest hurdles. Like, where am I wasting money and time and energy where I need to be spending time and energy? And I think just going through it, or having a mentor, or being on a team that somebody can actually lead you, will help you avoid a lot of those pitfalls that like I went through, where I spent a lot of money and took a lot of time to learn where I'm at now.
Mm-hmm. So how important is discipline and routine for you?
I think it's probably top of the line. Like, you have to be, like I said, you got to be disciplined to get up every day and tell yourself you got to go to work. There's days you just want to sit around and, no offense, but it's like F your mood. Right? I don't care what mood you're in. You got to go get a paycheck, because we don't get paid to do anything other than sell. So you got to get up every day. So you have to be highly motivated. So I would say that's top notch.
Okay. Yeah. I just kind of sensed that. That's why I asked that question. All right. So, all right. Well, how do you manage life and such a busy career? Because it seems like you're always on the go. But, how do you manage them both?
I tell you, it's definitely stressful. Getting an assistant was a huge, huge lift for me, having a personal assistant to run. So that saved me time. And honestly, I schedule my family just like I do my work. So if you look at my calendar today, there will be things on there like, okay, I had to take my kids to the bus and I got to be done by 5:30 because my son's got football. Right. So when people call me up, I'm like, okay, I'm already scheduled for this time. I don't necessarily say, hey, yeah, I'm going hanging with my family and doing this, because I found in real estate that your clients are, oh, you should have a personal life. We understand you need vacation, and they do to an extent. But if you're on vacation or you're at your son's football game and they need to see a house, all that goes out the window. None of that matters at that point, because if you make them miss that house, then it's done. So having an assistant helped me a lot with that. She fills in a lot for me for showings and stuff like that. So I had showings yesterday, but my daughter's birthday was yesterday. So I didn't know I had another agent show off my team. I'm the one that wrote the contract at the end of the evening. I think that's the biggest thing with the scheduling. You have to schedule your family life just like you do your business and your off time. Everything goes in that calendar. And in all honesty, everything to me is an appointment. So again, when they ask about it, what do I tell? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm already booked right now. I don't give specifics because I don't think they need to know every detail.
Right. Okay. All right. And so who would you say helped you along the way?
One of my biggest helps is actually, I would say Sandy Bowser. Sandy Bowser was my first manager broker. I was with Weichert Realtors, and she left Weichert about 2 years in, and actually recruited me to Coldwell Banker, who I've been with for basically the last 16 years. Unfortunately, when she got in, is when the recession hit. First office, she was the last one in the Coldwell Banker. When they started closing offices, the downsize, she was the first one they let go. So at that time, we started working together, and now she's actually on my team. She's my office administrator. She does a little bit of sales, but she's the one that does all our bookkeeping and all. But she honestly was a big influence on me for real estate, kind of got me in my foot going. Jack Canfield, I've read some of his books. They're really motivational. I went to his seminars. That changed my mind, the way I think about stuff. I used to, I feel like growing up, I was probably a negative person. And then I come to realize like everything that happens to you mostly is your fault, right? It's your decisions you've made or not made. And reading his book really changed that for me. It made me look at things differently. Like, you can't blame everything else. It doesn't matter if it's a recession or you're sick that day, whatever it might be, you still have to go out and perform. And if something's wrong, you learn a way to fix it, right? If everything goes perfect, you're never going to learn from that. So when these things go If it's a bad situation, a bad deal, I try to learn something from it. And I think that mindset really changed me. So, but Sandy bought me the Jack Canfield book. So a lot of my real, I would say, goes back to a lot of the stuff I learned from Sandy.
Wow. Okay.
Sales,
Okay.
I would give head. So I used to do construction sales. I started doing storm damage. There's a bunch of houses hitting Northern Virginia. We went out there and was working on those. And I was sad, like, I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't want to deal with that. I just wanted to go sling a hammer, hang the roofs and siding and do all that stuff. And then one day my dad's like, I want you to get into sales. And I was like, nah, I don't think so. And then he was like, yeah, you are. So he said, I got 4 appointments tomorrow. You're going to go with me and you're going to sell the roofs and the siding. You know the business, so you'll sell it. And I was like, okay, you're going to go with me? Yep. Kid you not, that morning he called me up and he was like, hey, I got 3 more appointments. You're on your own. Take those. That was my sales training. He threw me in the fire.
Just go right in. Yeah, no choice.
Yep.
I love that. That's great. That is great. So what do you see as your big future opportunity for the year ahead?
Consistency, being consistent. I think that, again, I think we're going to probably have the market's changing a little bit. And I think, I don't know if it's going to be as bad. I don't think it's going to be like 2008, but I definitely think things are going to tighten up. And I think you just you can't wait for work to come to you. You now, if you're not making the phone calls or going out having your meetings, you need to do that now. Like you need to be out there in front of people showing that you're working, because if you do that, that's what's going to bring the business in. So that's my focus. That's my team's focus right now, is like, we're not waiting for people to call us. The last couple of years, you could, sit in a corner and people just threw houses at you to buy or sell. Everybody was doing it. Well, now you got to work again. So we're going back to kind of like the roots and like, okay, let's make our phone calls today. Let's post, a couple videos out there. We're trying to do more video play than photos, because videos get more hits, just to show our personality and our expertise. And then just getting out and meeting people. So I think that's my focus for the next year. And I'm hoping to every year we try to beat our numbers, right? Every year I try to outsell or out hit our units. I mainly focus on units, because I think if you focus on your units, the more units you can close, the more sales, your volume, everything goes up from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's that sales in you, that salesman in you. That's right. Moving those units. Okay. Yep. So that's what it's about. All right. Well, so as we kind of come to a close, if there's one final piece of advice you'd like to give our audience, what would that be?
Don't quit. It's going to get tough. It's going to toughen up here. But if you come out the other side, you are going to be more successful for it. You're going to learn a lot, right? Again, it's easy when things are going good. Things are going to toughen up. You're going to have to do the work. Don't quit. If you got to get a second job to support it, that's fine. Then you go network at that job to help support your real estate, your career in real estate. So if you have to go to the hardware store or answer doors at Walmart or whatever it might be, right, you can still build. I have a dual agent on my team right now that we're trying to help her convert over, and she is a dispatcher for plumbing company. 85% of her business comes from that plumbing company, because they all know she's the real estate expert there, right? So she's building that business just from working there. So as things tighten up, or if you're trying to get into this business, it's not a bad thing to have another job to help support you. Make sure you have 6 months to a year of reserves saved up before you actually convert over to real estate. Don't think it's going to happen in 2 months, right? Especially if you're brand new to the business. Now, if you've been doing the dual agency for 4 or 5 years, the 6 months is probably better. If you're brand new, you should have a year's reserve, because it takes time to build. And once it builds, it'll start rolling. But don't think you're going to walk in 2 months, because you'll be broken back working and then wanting to quit real estate. So just keep pressing forward, keep working, and build that up.
That's great. Don't quit. Have reserves. Keep pressing, moving forward. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate all the nuggets and everything that you shared with us. And we wish you nothing but continued success, man. Nothing but continued success.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll check in with you somewhere, maybe later on in the year, if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, Tony.
All right. Have a good day. Bye, guys.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Built How podcast. and got some valuable takeaways that you can put into place into your business right away. Don't forget to visit builthow.com and register for our next live or virtual event. Be sure to subscribe to this podcast, leave a rating and a review, and check out all the other podcasts on the Win Make Give podcast network. We'll see you next time.